Smackdown is awful. It is unwatchable. Smackdown is on par with Dynamite, and it has been for months and months on end. And this was no exception. Smackdown needs help like nobody's business. I don't understand why Smackdown is this bad. Cody Rhodes is doing nothing with the title. He's feuding with Drew McIntyre again for no reason at all, period. It makes me wonder, where the hell is Randy Orton at? We need to get this Randy and Cody feud going ASAP. It's got to happen. The mid-card on SmackDown is okay to an extent, but that still needs some work. The Tag Team Championships on SmackDown, that needs some work as well. Why? Because the Wyatt Six, they suck. The Wyatt Six is awful. And they're feuding with the same 6 teams. Well, they were feuding with the same 6 teams. And now some of them have been broken up to fight in the mid-card with Ijla Dragunov. The women's title is on Jade Cargill, which is good. But Jade Cargill can't talk worth a shit. And she needs to have a mouthpiece with her. And she would have been perfect to be aligned with Kiana James and Julia. You could have had a little faction. Well, actually, not really a faction, but you could have had a really interesting duo with Jade and Julia, and having Kiana James be their mouthpiece. That would have been tremendous. That would have been great. But no, it didn't happen. I don't get it, man. SmackDown is awful. It's absolutely awful. I'm not going to hold you guys up. I fell asleep on this show multiple times. But this was not a good show. This was not a good show. It's pathetic. Triple H should be ashamed of himself. Cody is not a bad champion. It's just the way that he's being booked. He's been in a no-nothing feud with Drew McIntyre, who literally needs to go away. Either he needs to go to Raw and do something over there for a while, or something. I don't know. You got to figure out something for Drew McIntyre to do. You really have to. You really have to. Because I'm a fan of McIntyre. But this booking of McIntyre is awful. The guy is 6'5", 275 to 280. And he's being booked like a bitch. Make that make sense. I'll say it again. Make that make sense. What the hell is going on? SmackDown has no direction. It has no direction. It's just like Dynamite. It's no different than Dynamite. And I don't understand this shit. I don't. It makes zero sense. This show was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So let's go ahead and get into SmackDown from November the 7th, 2025. So we kicked the show off with Cody Rhodes. He didn't really say much of anything. He said that he just wants to move past Drew McIntyre and how he beat him at Saturday Night's Main Event last Saturday. So Cody says that he's moving on from Drew McIntyre, and he's putting him in the rearview mirror. He said he wants to do something different. So then he wants to just come out in the crowd, in the Greenville, South Carolina crowd, and sit with them and just basically just watch the show. So the lights go out. Aleister Black shows up. Aleister Black says if Cody's moving out, he's moving in. And since he set Damian Priest on fire, he's ready for something new which I would agree because Aleister Black does need a new direction. But that didn't occur on this show. We'll talk about that when we get to it, a.k.a. the main event. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, they get into the ring. Black says he has a chip on his shoulders, and it's about the size of the WWE Undisputed Championship. So Cody gets in Aleister Black's face. Zelina Vega gets in Cody's face. She says that it's too bad that Cody's nightmare begins now. She slaps Cody. Before things happen and escalate, Nick Aldis comes out, and then he makes a match for the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Aleister Black. Okay, this is fine, but why did this have to happen like this? We all know that Cody and Aleister Black have faced before when Aleister and Cody were both in AEW. When Aleister had a squash match with Cody and beat him in like 2 or 3 minutes, which was great. That made him a star in that company, but he suffered a lot after that moment for him during that time frame. I don't know, man. I'm a fan of Aleister. I really am. I like him. I think he's good. I just feel that Aleister Black does need to be in the main event scene. And the way Drew McIntyre has been booked, I would put Drew McIntyre, now that I think about it, he needs to actually be in the mid-card for a while. He needs to be in the mid-card feuding with Dragunov over the U.S. Championship. That's kind of where I want to see McIntyre. I'm tired of him complaining about Cody. Like, enough of that bullshit. Okay, moving on from that. This leads us into Dragunov's U.S. Open Challenge. So he gets on the mic. He says, who's going to step up? He says, tonight, Pain shall entertain them. So Tommaso Ciampa comes out with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Ciampa says he came out last week for his challenge, but Dragunov denied him and called him a jackass. He says that he's a 2-time SmackDown Tag Team Champion, and no one calls him a jackass. Now he's in South Carolina, surrounded by jackasses, to tell Dragunov that the title is his. Dragunov says that Ciampa is right, and he accepts the challenge. But he points to Gargano, so then Ciampa backs away, and then Gargano 6. No, my bad. Tommaso Ciampa 6, Johnny Gargano onto Ijla Dragunov. Oh my God, what the hell? This is so bullshit. I didn't even watch this match. Ijla Dragunov defeats Johnny Gargano. I don't give a damn. I don't. I'm a fan of Tommaso Ciampa. I've always have been. Tommaso Ciampa is great. He looks good. The only problem is his height. I think he's like 5'8", 5'9", something like that. It's fine. He does stand in the gym. The only problem is his height. Other than that, he's good. He's decent on the mic. He's decent in the ring. Like, he would be great in the mid-card. Johnny Gargano, we don't need him anymore. Johnny Gargano, in my opinion, should have went to AEW a couple years back. That's what should have happened, right? Johnny Gargano should have went to AEW. He would have been better off for it. That's just me. Tommaso Ciampa, there's an upside for him and to him, but to Johnny Gargano, hell no. Moving on from this, Dragunov wins via the H-bomb. Moving on from that, so we go backstage. Nick Aldis is with a referee. So in comes Sami Zayn, and he tells Nick Aldis that he spoke to him about this last week. He says that he knows he's not clear, but he wants to be out there for Rey Fenix against the MFTs. Nick Aldis tells him he's not he's not medically cleared, and if he's at ringside, then he's going to be a liability. Nick Aldis tells Sami Zayn to get healthy. Sami Zayn says he's telling him right now he won't stand by and watch for much longer. So Sami Zayn dips out. In comes R-Truth. He's wearing John Cena merchandise. He asked Nick Aldis if the draw is how they're going to pick his older brother, John Cena's last opponent. He hands Nick Aldis 2 plastic balls with his names in them. On them, and he tells him that he's here to give him his balls. Nick Aldis tells him that his name is already included. R-Truth tells him that he doesn't want his balls to take Nick's balls. And then R-Truth grabs his balls and leaves. That's a good one. Good shit there. I do like that. Although I wish that R-Truth could have been more serious. But he's back to being, the R-Truth that we all love and adore. But I really wish that Triple H would have booked R-Truth to be a more serious character. Apparently, he doesn't think much of R-Truth, but that's where R-Truth should be. He should be a more serious character. You can even put him in like the U.S. title picture as well. I think that would be pretty cool to see him as champion. That would have been great. Just more opponents for Ijla Dragunov. There is that. Moving on. So Tommaso Ciampa's backstage. In comes Johnny Gargano. So he's about to speak, but Faction, they come in, they make fun of DIY, and then they say the word jackass, and then they leave. Whatever. Jade Cargill, she's out next. She says that, to make no mistake about it, she's that bitch. She says they saw what happened to Tiffany, and that goes for every woman in that locker room. So, that's pretty cool. She cut a really quick promo, which is great. I do like that. Keep her promos short and sweet, but really and truthfully, I think that Jade Cargill fits with Kiana James. I think that's the best way to book her. You book her as an unstoppable monster. You build up Jade Cargill. You have her win matches quick, like 30 seconds or less. Maybe do like, a couple clotheslines, maybe a power slam or two. Hit the Jaded 1, 2, 3. But I really do think that Jade Cargill should be aligned with Julia and Kiana James. I really think that would be great for her, and that's really what should happen. Like, if I had the pin, that's what I would be booking right now. I would book Jade Cargill to be aligned with Julia and Kiana James. Jade Cargill needs a mouthpiece. She looks like $1 million, but she needs a fucking mouthpiece. It's just that simple. There's nothing we can do about it. So then Charlotte Flair comes out. She stares down with Jade Cargill for a brief moment. So that was okay. That's fine. Moving on from that. Chelsea Green's backstage with Alba Fire. She begins to talk. In comes B-Fab and Mia Yim, a.k.a. Michin. Mia Yim says they know how her match with Julia will go. Chelsea says she'll win, and she'll be a double champion, and she'll be the greatest Smackdown champion. Jade Cargill is behind her, and Chelsea Green turns around. Cargill tells her to keep talking, and Chelsea tells her that she looks great. Then Alba Fire and Chelsea Green, they run away. B-Fab is about to show up in the women's locker room. Cargill tells her to move out of her way. B-Fab tells Michin she doesn't understand why Jade has to be that way. Jade tells her if she has a problem, she can step up and be stepped on next week. And then B-Fab accepts. Whatever, I don't give a damn about this. Moving on. Charlotte Flair versus Na Jax. We've seen this match 1,000 times. Who wins? Na Jax, because Lash Legend shows up. So Lash Legend showed up. She got Alexa Bliss in a chokehold, and this distracted Charlotte Flair. This allowed for Nia to hit the Annihilator onto Charlotte Flair for the 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's cool. So Lash Legend is basically on the main roster. That's great. And so it seems like she's going to be teaming up with Nia Jax. Oh, hell no. But this gives her something to do. I think this makes perfect sense, honestly. So, great. So, Lash Legend is on the main roster. Does that mean we'll get Trick Williams in a couple of weeks? Because we all know he's going to be losing on NXT next week on this upcoming Tuesday. He'll be losing the last man standing match to Ricky Saints/Starks. So yeah, that's cool. So that's fine. Good stuff there. Moving on from that, so we get a video package of John Cena's farewell tour. So, Nick Aldis, he draws the next two matches for the last time is now tournament. So it's going to be The Miz against Jey Uso, and it's going to be LA Knight. And then there's another person with, hold on. Okay. I apologize, guys. So the first match is going to be The Miz versus Jey Uso. The next match is going to be LA Knight versus a mystery opponent. So we don't know who that is. Nick Aldis says he'll keep that name to himself. Okay. It could be Nick himself. You never know. Because Nick's been on this show for about, 2 years. He's not wrestled. He can still go. I think Nick Aldis is 36, same age as me. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. But whatever. Moving on. So we get a backstage interview involving Na Jax and Lash Legend. Nia says she clearly would have beaten Charlotte. She says that Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss told her to find a friend, and she faced Lash Legend in NXT, and she's a badass. And she says that's why they're friends. That's why they're friends. So Lash Legend introduces herself, and she said after what she did to Alexa, she's everything she says she is, and they're going straight to the top. Okay, that's cool. That's fine there. Good stuff there. I do like this. This makes perfect sense. Clearly, this is the best position for Lash Legend to be in. And even though I'm not a fan of Nia Jax, I'm interested in seeing what's going to come of this pairing. I do like this. Really good shit there. Good stuff. So that was a good call by Triple H. Great. Makes perfect sense. Moving on. This leads us into Julia defeating Chelsea Green. Who cares about this? Actually, no. My bad. I'm sorry. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm sorry. Actually, Julia is defeated by Chelsea Green, which is crazy. So Julia gets rolled up by Chelsea, and then Chelsea puts her feet on the ropes for the 1, 2, 3, and Julia loses. This sucks. Well, no. Actually, no. This is great. This is great. Why? Because I'm a fan of Chelsea Green. She's being pushed heavily in NXT, and I think they want to keep that push going on the main roster. Maybe Julia will win it back in due time. Don't know. I don't know why Julia didn't retain here easily. I don't know. But Chelsea Green is being used perfectly. She's being used well in AAA. She's a champion there. She's one half of the mixed champions in AAA, which is a very unique concept with her and Ethan Page. Then you also have her now being a 2-time U.S. champion. So that's cool. But again, why would you put the title on Julia for about, a month, 2 months, and then she loses? I don't get it. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's a dumb booking decision. I don't fucking know. So Ethan Page is there also. So him and Chelsea Green, they're celebrating along with Alba Fire. So that's cool. I do like that. Moving on. We go backstage. So Sikoa is with his MFTs. He tells them how they have to win titles and that Tala Tonga will show Rey Fenix that he does not disrespect their family. Whatever. I don't care about this. Moving on from that. Alexa Bliss is with Charlotte Flair in the trainer's room. the doctors get Alexa Bliss ice, and they put it on and Charlotte puts it on Alexa's shoulder. Charlotte Flair and Alexa, they look up and they see it's Asuka. And then Asuka blue mist both of them, and then she laughs, along with Kairi saying, okay, whatever, that's cool. Tala Tonga defeats Rey Fenix. I don't care about this shit at all. So, who gives a damn? Moving on from that, they're going to, Solo and his crew were going to beat down Rey Fenix, but Sami Zayn showed up with a steel chair, and for whatever reason, Solo and Tala Tonga, they dip out. Like, what the hell? Sami Zayn has a steel chair. He's like 5'1". No, he's like 5'7", 5'8". Come on, man. What the hell? Moving on. This leads us into The Miz. He's backstage with Kathy Kelly, getting interviewed, and he says that he's hitting Carmella Hayes. Him hitting Carmella Hayes was his perspective and reminder of what he's capable of. He says everything he touches, he makes prestigious. The IC title, talk shows, Carmella Hayes, and even John Cena. He beat him in the main event at WrestleMania. Miz says that there should not be a tournament for John Cena, especially his final opponent is in his face. And now he has to face Jey Uso. But everything Jey Uso does is a highlight, and highlights fade, which is correct. He says that he'll beat Jey Uso and win the tournament. The critics will cry, and the internet will whine. He says The Miz will end John Cena's career because he's The Miz and he's awesome. Okay, I like that. Good shit there. I'm not a fan of Jey Uso as much as I used to be. I was fine with Jey Uso maybe about 4, 5, 6 months ago. But now I'm over the Jey Uso hype train. I'm over it. Moving on. Main event of the evening, Cody Rhodes versus Aleister Black. It was non-title. There's no contest because both guys are laid out for whatever reason. Both guys kick each other in the face. They fall to the mat. Drew McIntyre comes out. He Claymore's the referee, so immediately that calls for a no contest. So then Drew McIntyre and Aleister Black, they beat up on Cody Rhodes for a brief moment. Damian Priest shows up to make the save. Cody and Drew, they brawl. So Zelina, she gets on the announce table, and she jumps onto Damian Priest, but he throws her into the timekeeper's area. And then Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, they get out of dodge. Cody hits a Cody cutter onto Drew. Drew leaves the ring. So Nick Aldis comes out. He said he gave Drew an inch. He took a mile. Nick Aldis says he's going to suspend Drew. And then him and Drew are arguing. SmackDown goes off the air. What the hell is this shit? This is lame. This is absolutely lame. I don't get it. I don't get any of this nonsense. This is pathetic. Again, Drew McIntyre will be better off in the mid card of SmackDown, in my opinion. Get him away from Cody ASAP. This show was not a good show outside of Lash Legend showing up. Jay Cargill cutting a pretty okay little promo. I didn't care about the Aleister Black stuff because Aleister Black's not going to be moved up. He's still in a feud with Damian Priest along with Cody Rhodes, who's still in a forever feud with Drew McIntyre, which is not good, so whatever. But what did you guys think of SmackDown? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.